Once, not in a kingdom, but in a place just off the interstate, you clicked play. And now, it's too late to go back. Come closer, traveler. Step beyond the veil. Tonight's tales are not for the faint of feed. These are stories with sharp teeth and stranger truths. You've been warned. First, in the fog-draped forests of California's high places, a cursed whisper stirs in the pine needles. An ancient sickness, older than kings, colder than the grave, has clawed its way into the lungs of a lone wanderer. They say it came from a flea. They say the squirrels are watching. They say the plague has returned. But do not fear. Fear only invites it inside. Next, far out at sea, in the brackish dark, something enormous rose from the depths. A fish, yes, but not just a fish. It was a memory, a warning, a living relic of waters once teeming with giants. The villagers rejoiced as they dragged their sea god trophy onto the deck, and the ocean said nothing, because the ocean never forgets. And lastly, a metal bird prepared to fly. Its passengers weary, its crew rehearsed. But one among them, impatient, insolent, spoke the forbidden words. "Shut up!" And the metal bird turned, and the gates reopened, and the skies remembered the wrath of minor gods in polyester uniforms. So listen well. Laugh if you dare, but tread carefully, because in this episode, even the mundane has fangs. Now.
It's wild, it's twisted, headlines hitting like a slap and you missed it. It's madness, I'm tapped out, live on the scene and I can't find my way out.
And welcome back to another episode of the Convoluted Podcast, your seventh best weird news podcast on the internet. And always with me is my other half, Liz. Liz,
Hi.
how have you been?
I've been doing okay. Been all right. It's been a chaotic couple weeks, trying to go from nights to days to nights to days again, and then I'm going back to nights again after this weekend at the time of this recording. So
Just going crazy.
I just keep telling myself a week from today of this recording, I'll be in. Getting ready to go fly out to Chicago.
There you go. That's what you got to do. Is these little rewards you gotta look forward to. It's one of those things. Actually, I was talking with someone about kind of the how mundane certain things have been. You know, it's hard to get up out of bed sometimes for a lot of people. Sometimes even you and me have these like moments where like I just don't want to get up, right? And the way daily life and just the world around us is and in a larger scope, it's just hard to just get up. But just having these little goals, little rewards, I think people need to start trying to set these little things to kind of get you up. To like, I just got to get through 2 more weeks of work and then I'm going on that vacation. Or like, I just got to get through a couple more like days and I'm going to go see that one movie. Or like, next week I just got to get through all this and I'm going to meet up with everyone and go out, grab drinks with everyone, catch up. It's those little things that I was explaining to some of our younger crew. They're like, yeah, it's like, feels like it's always work. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Sadly, that's life. But something, not that I've recently learned, it's more that I've taken up that mentality more so these last 2 years. Yeah, these last 2 years. I was like, you need to have little rewards, little goals for yourself to kind of like reach for, because if not, it's just gonna feel like you're stuck in a tunnel with no light at the end of it.
Right.
Well, unless you have a different thoughts on that, but that's kind of how I.
No, I think I feel like that is true. Like you have to kind of like not. It is kind of like, oh yeah, these little lights in the tunnel, but it's like little goals. Like, okay, if I get through this day, I am one day closer to this, fun event. Whether that be traveling or hanging out with friends or this or that and the other thing. I mean, I'm always that's why I always jam pack my weekends. I'm like, I'm gonna go full out. because I'm like, I don't see these people for weeks sometimes, and sometimes I see them very little. So you have to make the time. It literally, you just have to do is make the time to make things happen, right?
Exactly. And making that time gets you that reward of like, all that long hours working or grinding, housework, whatever. It just makes you not want to get up. Just feel it's like it makes it all the more rewarding at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the little like old people pep talk there, everyone. But it's something. I think it's something. If you get it early on, it'll make life a little bit easier in the long run. I wish someone would have told me that a little bit more seriously in my younger years. I think I would have like aspired a little bit more to have smaller goals instead of just kind of going with the flow, which isn't bad. But going with the flow, sometimes just you're aimlessly going. You don't have no actual set destiny. So
I don't know. I guess I had a different outlook in life. Gotta do it. Life is short, kind of thing. It's just been blatant in my life for life. So,
well, yeah, you had a different last couple years than I did. You had more of a more standard way where I had a little bit more of a floaty kind of like what's the word? Not travels, destination. Different whimsies, basically.
yeah.
Like everyone's different, but yeah. But yeah. But let's jump into some of these stories. We're gonna kind of go old school on this one. Liz, you want to start with this one because this is from your old home state.
Oh, yes. When nature bites back. Human plague case reported near Lake Tahoe. And what sounds like a subplot from the medieval horror movie, or aggressive, over-the-top camping cautionary tale, a California resident that has tested positive for the plague. Yes, that plague. The one responsible for wiping out somewhat between a third and half of Europe in the 14th century. But this isn't Europe. It's 2025, California, and the infection came courtesy of a flea near Lake Tahoe.
Oh, fun. Those little guys.
Right?
It's those things the things you never see. The things you never see.
Yeah, exactly. The little things, right?
Literally.
According to California Department of Public Health, the unidentified patient has recently returned from camping trip in South Lake Tahoe region of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Shortly afterward, the individual began to experience flu-like symptoms. Testing confirmed the presence of, I'm going to mutilate this, Yersinia pestis, the bacterium behind the bubonic plague. The patient is reported recovering well thanks to early antibiotic treatment, but the case has triggered a flurry of public health message and low-key panic among outdoorsy Californians and germaphobes alike.
Yeah, I would think so with the return of the plague. That is wild. Yeah, well, there's sadly been a lot of like the diseases coming back due to certain reasons. Sadly, but wow, bringing back the plague, man. That's how there's very few cases of the plague.
We're due for a reset. We are due for a reset. I mean, COVID tried, but it didn't do successfully.
No, and it feels like we might be going again.
It might put a little dent in it, but not enough down for the population of the world.
No, it's like it's what is it? It's that hold my beer thing. COVID tried it, and like the plague came, like gave it to like hold my beer, COVID, and the plague's coming. Here, I'll continue. So how does all that happen? Let's find out. So apparently health officials say that likely sources of infection was a flea bite, most likely from a flea hitching a ride on the wild rodents, chipmunks, squirrels, and or other cuddly disease vectors. The story follows a certain pattern to two confirmed cases from 2015 when a visitor to Yosemite National Park contracted the plague and survived, despite modern associations of the disease with history books and the plague doctor's memes. The Y pestis bacterium is still very much alive, especially in rural American West. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. According to the CDC, there are typically here we go. This is what I wanted to know. There's typically about 7 human cases per year. Oh, okay. Commonly in New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and California. These cases is a reminder that the plague is still present in California's higher elevations, and the Department of Public Health said it's a public. Okay, so
I guess we're not traveling to rural California or any of those other areas
or anywhere with higher elevations. But yeah, it's one of those things like you can never like eliminate a disease. You can only kind of contain it. But that's pretty good for the U.S. 7 cases a year out of the millions of people in the United States. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like, what? If you want to continue.
All right. The response: fleas, rodents, and warning signs. In the wake of the diagnosis, El Dorado County quickly ramped up flea and rodent surveillance around Tahoe campgrounds. Park rangers and public health groups have begun posting signs warning hikers and campers of the risk of using basic plague prevention measures. Using insect repellent containing DEET, keep pets leashed and prevent contact with wild animals, avoid touching dead animals or rodent nets. Who would want to do that? You guys are weird.
Kids do that.
Unusual. Hey. Huh?
Kids do that, Liz. Kids.
That's true. I didn't do it. Report unusual die-offs of squirrels or chipmunks. Officials emphasize that there's no current campground closures and the risk remains extremely low for most visitors. Still, late summer is prime season for both camping and plague cases, making timing a concern.
That's true. Yeah, it's like we read, it's very low case amount. It's when it starts getting ramped up, right? That's when you have to really worry about certain things like this. But going up like from 7 a year to like 2 a month, that seems like a little bit of a jump. And as long as you like, we've been camping and sometimes you're just out and about. I definitely had just my my toesies out a couple times when we were out there, but you just never know what's on the ground, but you're out. But it's been
nibbling at your toes, man. You're gonna get it.
Exactly. But it's one of those things where a wise camper will help like deter some of these things. It's just when going out, when these things you kind of over prepare sometimes. But Mother Nature, as you know, has other surprises sometimes, right? Like, because actually last night I woke up I didn't get a lot of sleep because I woke up with I don't know if it reached your area, but we had like a giant thunder.
It rolled through literally one thunder and it was gone. I was like, I waited, it was gone. It was a long and very loud, like it was like above my house kind of thing. It was like, I was like, what the fuck?
We might have heard one of those because we had 3 in our area.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it woke, it wakes up the dogs, and so it's like trying to calm them down.
It woke up Max, it woke up me, it woke up my kiddo. Did not wake up my mom.
But yeah, it made sleep a little bit like I was prepped and ready for sleep, and then boom, that woke me up. Let's continue. So the word plague triggers very specific imagery. Beaked mass graves, rats, and general apocalyptic vibes, but modern day plagues, while rare, is manageable if caught early. Yeah, we kind of know this. The U.S. hasn't seen a large scale outbreak in over a century. Still, isolated rural cases, especially among campers, hunters, and people who live near wild rodent populations, have near fully gone away. Globally, the plague is still a public health issue in parts of Africa, Asia. Oh, interesting. According to the World Health Organization, the disease can re-emerge whenever humans live in proximity to rodent populations. Well, that makes perfect sense. In the case, experts point out to that early detection and rapid treatment are what a terrifying headline into mass scare. Left untreated, plague can cause. Let me read this properly. That oh my god.
Septicemia.
Septicemia? What is that actually? I'll look it up in a second. And
Pneumonic plague.
Pneumonic plague. Thank you. Whoa, these are both fatal? Oh god. That is not fun. That is no bueno. The chance of this is a quote. The chance of catching the plague is extremely small, said Dr. Mary White, an infection disease specialist. Quote, but knowing the basics like using repellent and avoiding rodent nets can help keep. Which, yeah, well, like we mentioned, it's like, the word plague does bring a lot of connotations to it, right? Just hearing about it, just like, oh, it's the plague, because it was one of the biggest like
one of our
pandemics,
historical,
basically.
yeah.
It was the biggest pandemic, and during the signs during that time, while it came up with some like literally some beak masks and these like imagery, it was an event that luckily did not wipe us out.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, some people were smart moving away from the cities when they were happening.
So, but yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, it's like the word can be very, and it can cause some big headlines like, oh my god, the plague is black, right? That's kind of the reason we kind of looked into it just for our story. But it's one of those things where it's just like, it's good to keep an eye on it. Mostly if you're like we didn't do it this year. Or I don't know, did you go camping this year? No,
unfortunately, these stupid nights that sprung up on me. No,
exactly. And we were
having a baby in the family. it put some dents in there.
Yeah, and our plans for camps kind of threw out because of all the family events too. So it kind of threw up because last year we had that camping episode. We were like, all right, we're gonna start doing some more stuff this year, and out the window. There's always next year.
This year, yeah, exactly. There's always next year. There's always winter ones. We could always do some fun ones. There's life. Just gotta plan it. Just gotta keep going with it. So.
Reach those rewards, right?
Exactly. Reach for those rewards.
All right. You want to finish off?
All right. Lake Tahoe is a massive tourism hub, drawing millions every year for hiking, skiing, and camping. The area's economy thrives on its great close to nature ethos. A contagious disease with medieval branding isn't exactly ideal for business. Still, most locals and health officials are trying to keep things in perspective. The narrative being pushed was one of awareness, not alarm, don't panic, just maybe don't cuddle the squirrels. It has reignited broader questions about public education, disease surveillance in our rural areas, and how our relationship with nature come with unexpected consequences.
Yeah, exactly. Like we mentioned earlier, it's better to just get reevaluated with what it is and how to avoid it. Like as long as you can avoid it, it's like that's all that matters, right? At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's just knowing what to do in situations or how to avoid it. You'll be perfectly fine. Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you should, you'll be all good. You should all be good. It's just when you're being.
Yeah, just take precautions. Be smart
don't be
about
stupid.
it. I mean, don't be stupid. Just because you think you're out with one nature again doesn't mean you're not susceptible to that kind of shit. So, I mean, fleas are fleas. They jump. I've been bitten by fleas because his dog had one. I mean, so it didn't take much. So,
exactly, it doesn't take much. It can be frustrating, but as long as you're careful, you'll be fine. It's not like we're telling you to live in a bubble, but if you're like, you'll be going out and camping, you can look it up, like, what's happening around those areas, and just get an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of some things people should do when going camping. Like, check a rough weather forecast, check out any news in the areas, make sure there's no serial killers there. You never know.
Right.
But yeah, as long as you're
Literally
smart.
serial killers. There's a serial killer if it gets out of hand.
Yeah, so as long as you're fine, you'll be good. But yeah, any other final thoughts?
Antibiotics. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, Liz is big pharma. We know this for sure.
Hey, you know what? If you want the bubonic plague, go for it. I am just saying.
she wants to make sure there's food. She just wants food on her table. All right.
No, I'm good. My job was good at work. We're good.
Any final thoughts on this before we head out for the next? All right, I'll start this one out. So this one was fun. This one, one of you posted. So after a little research, here we go. In a rare and awe-inspiring moment for the New England fishing community, a deep-sea angler off the coast of New Hampshire pulled in what many are calling the largest halibut caught in living memory. Weighing in several hundred pounds, measuring longer than most humans are tall, the fish has triggered a wave of local pride, marine science interest, and because it's 2025, some online hot takes and conversation and fish clout. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. I only read a little bit. So let's continue. This is interesting. Caught earlier this last month in the Gulf of Maine, the halibut reportedly took several people to haul aboard the boat. The angler's name has logged by state officials, but not made public in initial reports. And it's the kind of fish you dream about your whole life, one crew member said. When it broke the surface, we couldn't believe our eyes, end quote. So go ahead, Liz. I'll let you continue.
Halibut are some of the largest flatfish on Earth. Are we the weirdest looking one? Once abundant in New England waters, they're aggressively overfished in the 19th and 20th centuries, leading to a massive population crash. Today, Atlantic halibut are considered vulnerable, and catching one is borderline mythical. While exact measurements of the fish has been not officially confirmed, photographs show a creature that dwarfs the average fisherman and looks like it could swallow a toddler whole. Notably, the fish was caught legally within seasonal limits, according to New Hampshire state officials. That's a win for sustainable fishing advocates and marine biologists alike, who see the giant halibut as a hopeful sign, but also a potential red flag.
Okay. Have you seen the photo of the anglerfish?
I forgot. I think I have. I think I did. It was a big fish. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm also confusing with another fish story I recently saw. This 13-year-old brought in 177-pound swordfish.
A swordfish
out here in the coast of Oregon.
Oh, okay. So an update to this article. Apparently, we'll double check. So it looks like it's we can't say if it's official.
This is the fish that was talking about the halibut. It was 177 pounds and was probably caught by a 13-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the story. This is the story we're talking about, Liz.
Yeah, but we didn't say the 13-year-old.
Oh, the article we were reading probably didn't update that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's how big is it? Nearly
177 pounds. Damn.
So yeah, caught by a young man, and that's a big monster.
Teenager.
Imagine
They're not a young man. I know, that thing was huge.
That thing's huge. Yeah, it's literally bigger than him.
Right.
Let's continue. So the marine scientists were quick to weigh in on the significance of the catch. The Atlantic halibut are slow-growing and late-maturing fish, which means the larger individuals are often very old and very rare. pulling one out of the ecosystem can be both a triumph and a tragedy. Quote, every big fish is a reminder that the population can recover, one marine biologist told The Guardian, but it's also a reminder on how quickly things can change if we're not careful. Oh my god. Dichotomy? Oh, dichotomy. Yep. The economy is celebrating the rarity while worrying about the consequences echoes a border tension in conversation. Can we admire an conservation? Thank you. Can we admire an apex catch without accidentally glorifying overfishing? In this case, there's no indication of illegal activity, but the optics of a massive dead fish being paraded around social media has triggered debate, especially among younger climate activists. Well, yeah, we always have to make something political here, you know. At the end of the day, yeah, it was caught within season, right? You know, it's a thing.
It's within season. They had the tags. It's not like they were out there illegally doing it.
Yeah, but people get mad. You know, like, oh, overfishing. So, you know, people always get mad about something. You know, would it be a different story if it was out of season slightly, a little bit? Yeah. If it was an endangered species, yeah. It's true. Yeah, right now, certain ecosystems are not doing that well. well, we're being honest. Yeah, some ecosystems we're losing a lot of animals. But at the end of the day, as a larger sense, you know, you can't really take it out on a single person in this, like just attacking one person because of a like once in a lifetime catch. You can't attack them for the overall problem. Like that's where I think these things get a little too crazy. You know, like when in your youth are you going to be able to say you caught one of the biggest fish of all time?
I don't think anybody has that, you know, that card that can trump out and be like, hey, I caught this fish when I was 13 years old. It was this big and this many pounds and weighed more than me. And nobody can say that. There's a very small population of people who can say that. That is pretty kind of cool. I'm not going to lie.
Exactly. Like I was happy when I just caught a single fish when I went out fishing with my family.
I was excited when I caught I didn't catch the silver. Somebody brought it in for me because I obviously got tired bringing it in. But it was a silver salmon, so it was awesome. It's a rare fish, but it was in season.
Exactly, right? But then to be attacked, right? That's the other thing. Like,
right? A 13-year-old. And what is a 13-year-old? Really? You're gonna go attacking a kid? Of course you are, because that's how it works, right? And how it works, right? Let's just go attack the kid. The kid is at fault. Not the parents, not the fisher boat that, you know, they had a team on or anything else. Yeah, I mean, or the government that gave him the tags. I mean,
exactly. All right, you can continue.
New Hampshire has only 18 miles of coastline, but its fishing is as dense, proud, and fiercely protective of its waters. The halibut quickly became the talk of the towns of Portsmouth and Hampton, where markets and marinas lit up with buzz. This puts us on the map, said one of the local fish market owners. It shows our waters are healthy enough to produce something extraordinary. But the Gulf of Maine is one of the fastest warming ocean regions in the world. Rising temperatures, shifting ecosystems, and invasive species are already putting immense pressure on native fish. This had an appearance of mega halibut then feels like a lucky throwback or a ghost from a time when this was normal. In other words, enjoy the win, but don't stop asking questions.
All right. Yeah, that's basically it. You know, that's the other thing. It brings life into smaller towns like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We all need tourism. Yeah, right? Every state needs it.
Yeah, because a little bit ago I was up in a fishing town, and it was like really lovely. It's like one of those like just small towns that had like around a lake, and like a lot of the houses were like just hanging over the river, or the lake, which is like, oh, that's cool. Don't want to live there, but it's cool. And it's just these small like port town that that's these days it's not as like important to have that level of thing, but certain cities, like that is what makes them like the buzz, right? Like,
Mhm.
so just having this as their like signature thing for their city or area is like, that's cool. Like, oh, this is where the big giant halibut was caught, right? Like they can make a little photo, a plaque or something. It's one of those things that
I think
you
they can
live
stuff
in.
the fish too. If I'm correct, if you can actually get like a mold or stuff of the fish, you can cake all the meat out, obviously, and get the good stuff. But you know what I mean? Like that'd
Yeah,
be kind
yeah,
of a
yeah.
cool, like a little emblem on your. That would probably take up a good chunk of your wall, wouldn't you think?
All right. So this story isn't just about one fish. It's about the stories we tell around them. The fishermen got their once in a lifetime photo, the locals got a boost in morale, and the conservation community got a teachable moment. It's also a throwback to the trophy fish culture that dominates old school fishing lore. But in 2025, the culture has to coincide with climate science, TikTok ethics, and the digital age that can turn a dead halibut into both a hero and a villain within 12 hours. This case may become a sort of litmus test. Can we celebrate rare nature moments without consuming them into extinction? Yeah, this article says it best. Like, yeah, like it's like what we're saying, like these little rewards, right? Going back to is like, you like probably the son and dad. That's what I saw in the photo. Like probably like, oh, let's go fishing out like this weekend, right? And you just achieve this, and this is your reward for what they did this summer, right? They were probably looking for this thing, and then they're, but then, like I said, like we were mentioning earlier, it's like it's a mix of how digital space takes note of this, how the people around, the locals, take it. It's a lot. There's a lot to talk on in this, but at the end of the day, as long as it doesn't become such a like villainous thing, like it said in this article, I think it's fine, right? It's like nothing's. It's not like the major story was like, oh, they're overfishing this area or like they're illegally fishing. But some people just make it that way.
Yeah, turn the story upside down. And get work to their timeline, their like their storyline in their heads, and honestly, I think this is a great article. I think this is a great high for the boy who got it, this state of New Hampshire, that little town that Portsmouth got it. I mean, it's a little bit of every little highlight. I don't, of course, everybody's gonna be the devil's advocate and be the Debbie Downer of the group, but I think it's just living this high for a little bit. Yeah, we can talk about the topics, the other, you know, unhappy topics, but let's leave it off to the side for a little bit. Let's enjoy the high for a little bit. Yes,
Let him enjoy his
it's
trophy.
up. Exactly, and let him enjoy it for a little bit. Yes, we'll talk about the hard stuff later.
Exactly. All right then. Ready for the next story?
Yeah, another one I chose.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
And what is now a recurring theme of the 2020s air travel? Someone's acting up, someone filming, and everyone else is collectively groaning. A recent American Airlines flight out of Dallas Fort Worth was briefly delayed as a passenger shouted "shut up" at a flight attendant during the pre-flight safety demonstration. What the hell? The result? The pilot turned the plane back to the gate and the passenger was removed. The moment, of course, was captured on video and quickly went viral across TikTok, formerly Twitter, and Instagram, with millions weighing in. The flight eventually departed without further incident, but the internet didn't let go of it quietly. Absolutely not.
No, we've talked about multiple stories similar to this But let's before we put more of our thoughts, let's see. Let me continue reading to then get a little bit more idea what happened here. According to the reports from multiple outlets and videos, the confrontation occurred during the mandatory safety demonstration at the start of the flight, which we all gone viewed. It's a visibly annoyed passenger interrupt the flight attendant mid-script with a loud, unprovoked "shut up." Cue gasps, awkward silence, and one nearby passenger audibly reporting, "Are you serious?" Within minutes of landing back at the gate, security boarded the plane and escorted the passenger off, and the rest of the travelers waited just long enough to update their group chats, finishing filming and go viral. We're 10 minutes from takeoff. One passenger posted a one word "shut up," 2 words. Quote, "one word, shut up," and suddenly we were back at the gate. It's 2 words, technically. That's what's wrong with people, you know? I
don't
don't
get
know.
it. They have to do this every flight. Not everybody's flown for the first, multiple times. I've been on many planes. I never witnessed it multiple times. It's just a part of the procedure. It is part of the. We all have to see it, even if and especially it's valuable for somebody who's been flying for the first time. They have no idea who's been on there multiple times, and if this is the 10,000 flight in their lifetime. Nobody knows that.
Let's see. Let's see if I can play the audio for the listeners. Second, everyone.
You should shut up.
All door exits have evacuation slides to use in the unlikely event of an emergency.
I can't hear.
When directed to exit, jump onto the slide and move away from the airplane. In a water evacuation, life rafts are located in marked ceiling compartments. All exits are clearly marked with signs and opening instructions.
Okay, then we have no problem. If you can't hear and you can't follow instructions, then you're not on my list as someone who
indicated by
can't hear.
signs and lights. In
So
the
I'm
event
gonna
of an
ask the pilot
emergency,
to
leave all
remove you
belongings
because you're
and
not
proceed to the
compliant.
closest useful
I don't
exit.
got my seatbelt on.
Do you know what you did, right? I asked you to turn your phone off.
Yeah, my phone is
and you
off.
started talking. I am having no
I had
conversation
to-
here. You are listening. Can everybody else hear the announcement? Can you say it out loud, yes or no, please, for me?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone can hear it except for you. So do you want to come with us or not? Because it has to be fast. People have connections. And if you're not going to comply, then you have to get off. I need to hear yes or no, otherwise...
Yes. What do you need to hear? Yes.
Are you going to comply with
Yes.
crew instructions?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not bothering you, miss. You're harassing me.
We have to go.
Okay, so there you go, everyone. Yeah, that's just a person just being belligerent to, and then kind of trying to make a facade of like, oh, I didn't do anything. It's just kind of. Did you watch it?
No,
So yeah, it's just
it's fine. I have a gist of what it felt like or what it looked like.
Yeah, it's just the literally the video, the audio that was playing for everyone. It's literally the person sitting next to them recording them, and catching all the audio. Luckily, but yeah, after the whole shut up thing, it's just him trying to like, oh, yeah, I just couldn't hear you, and I'm like trying to just
That's not what you say. That's not what you say. Don't say shut up. That's opposite of speak louder.
and yeah, and it's just like, yeah, just trying to feign ignorance basically, and it's very, that just, and it just, and they were making, and the attendant was making sense, like, a lot of people have connections they have to make between the layovers, and sometimes the layovers can be annoyingly long, but some people only get like a few minutes to half an hour, so those minutes can count for lots. I know that for sure. So you want to continue?
Right. All right. American Airlines issued a very corporate and very stern statement confirming the incident. The passengers' behavior interfered with crew duties and the safe operation of the flight. End quote. Under FAA regulations, flight crews have broad authority to remove any passenger deemed disruptive or potentially unsafe. quote, interfering with the duties of a crew member, end quote, is taken seriously and increasingly very publicly. Quote, our team members are trained to handle these situations calmly and with safety of all the customers in mind, end quote, the airline added. While the airline didn't confirm whether additional penalties would follow, FAA rules allow fines up to $37,000 and possible bans for unruly behavior.
Which, yeah, we like I said, we've read stories that have had these fines and these bans before, and time again, it surprised me how blatant some people can be after these stories come out. But there's stupid people every day, so we'll probably keep getting these stories. It's never gonna stop. And
Until people grow up and decide to be mature adults and let these people do their jobs.
And then there are those who never grow up and that just become just adult children right there. And just so tantrums when things don't go their way. And they just make life harder for everyone else. Because at the end of the day, when at least when it comes to these situations with airlines and stuff, you're basically stuck in a small group. You're basically kind of in a group project trying to get from one place to another. And if one person makes it a hassle for everyone, it just makes it hard for everyone. And that's what makes it hard and just makes just this already just long annoying process to fly even harder. Not only for you, the people with you, but the crew and everything. It just makes everything, and it can get even. And depending on the level of scale
It's
of
a
how
snowball too. There could be a snowball effect too.
Yeah, it just one person leads to another, or one argument can escalate and just makes things worse and just makes things harder and longer. It's a story that we'll probably keep talking about until the ends of time, and if more hilarious ones come out, because we can only read so many of these stories, but if a funny one comes out, oh damn. All right, if you want to continue. Or it's my turn?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. This isn't an isolated incident. The pandemic era and its aftermath have created a stew of passenger meltdowns, mid-air tantrums, and YouTube-worthy freaks out. Yeah, kind of what we were mentioning earlier. According to the FAA, incident of disruptive behavior peaked in 2021. Thanks anti-maskers, but still may remain significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels. Many involved the following: alcohol abuse, personal space arguments, crew conflict, refusal to follow basic safety protocols. Sometimes small can spiral out of control fast. One flight attendant anonymously quoted to the travel blog View from the Wings, quote, "This is a job where you're responsible for safety, but you're also dealing with customer emotions in tight quarters," end quote. So yeah, kind of what we were saying earlier. These definitely the pandemic, because people couldn't fly that off, or almost at all. I remember they banned flying due to certain reasons, right? For only only if it was very mandatory that you needed to fly, you were allowed to fly. I can only imagine what the airports looked like during those times, like ghost towns probably.
Right.
But yeah, definitely during mid-pandemic, those people who were, and when the flying came back, people just made it a little bit more confrontational, and it still is a thing. Definitely the quote, the alcohol abuse has always been a mainstay when it comes to things. Personal space,
also certain drugs too.
So let's just say substance abuse,
anxiety drugs.
Just overall substance abuse. Definitely the personal space has always been a thing. I've seen some fun shorts. Just people being annoying on planes. You can either be them just being assholes, just not taking into consideration. At least the last few times I flew recently, I've had my fair share of just pleasant, no issues. I can speak with just the last one, or the when we went to Vegas. Going there, I had the just a nice couple next to me. I was on the middle seat, not the middle seat, the seat on the aisle.
The aisle seat.
Yeah, which is a mix of, I want that because if I need to use the restroom, I don't have to disturb the other people. But it's like one of those things, like if they need to use, I like it up, which I'm fine with. And look at it, everyone was fine. Everyone had their phones. Everyone was watching the videos and pretty good. And on the way back, another annoyance people get is like children and stuff like that. I was seated around literally a family, a large family too. It was a mom, dad, and a grandma, and there were 3 kids, and the father was sitting next to me. Luckily there was no other seat, so it was just me and him, and one bonus seat in between us, so we had more space for us, which is a bonus. And halfway through the flight, it's one of those things where sometimes before we had technology, what would you do? You either read a book or you would talk to the passenger next to you. And I was just talking to the father. Just he was visiting some family in the state of Oregon, and it was just nice. So it was just like nice to just chat with someone, and like, tell them like, oh, you're visiting here, you're going to visit for like 2 to 3 weeks. That's nice. They're going to go places. But then it's like one of those things where it's like you sometimes get those annoying that are just make life a hassle and just bring this level of torment, and it can just like get you banned from ever flying again, or high fees. Like,
It's not worth it. I like the luxury of flying. If I could own my own plane, I would do that in a heartbeat. If I got my pilot license, that'd be amazing. But
you say that before then
I-
the cost, you realize the cost of owning a plane and the gasless.
it'll be one of those electric ones. I don't know. I never know. I can keep dreaming. Keep dreaming.
Yeah, keep dreaming. Let's keep dreaming. Unless we win the Powerball.
I know, right? $1.4 billion right now.
1.8. 1.8.
1.8 now? Oh, snap. We gotta go play.
All right. Continue, Liz.
What, right? Yeah. Within hours, footage of the shut up passenger was plastered across TikTok and Twitter X. Edits added music, dramatic filters, and meme captions. A few users defended the passenger, but most of the responses fell into 2 categories. Good, kick them off. Or, it's literally a 2-minute speech, chill the fuck out. One TikTok user wrote, if you can't handle safety demo, maybe you shouldn't be flying? Others roasted the incident in a classic online fashion. Bro snapped in the tray table section. Imagine catching a federal charge because you got annoyed by laminated safety cards. The viral reaction fed back into the discourse cycle. A modern passenger is too entitled. Are airlines too power hungry? Is air travel just fundamentally broken?
And then finally, the incident hit a nerve because it represents several ongoing tensions in modern air travel. Passengers versus authority, especially when you're stuck in a tube 30,000 feet in the sky. Entitlement, etiquette, and flight anxiety and pandemic burnout, social media clout chasing. It's also a reminder that plane etiquette is evolving, and so is the cost of slipping up in public. A rude comment that once went unnoticed can now land you in a viral TikTok with 20 million views and follow-up interviews on Instagram. So yeah, it's
it's true though. I definitely, now that we have
different social medias. Yeah, everyone, like I said,
Yeah.
the thing we always say is everyone has a camera in their pockets these days. Everyone is recording all the time. So even something so simple, because he probably just said if he would have just said shut up, monotone, it still would have got clipped out of context, and it still became such a thing because that's how things are. Like the people then just put edits, put music to kind of emphasize. It makes the scene more. It's what led. It's when you find the full context and just being annoying too, right? It can do a lot. It just that's the other thing. It's like the level of etiquette, like with But flying, like you're stuck. Like I said, you're in a group project trying to go from one place to another. Why are you making it harder for the group to make this simple thing from going from point A to point B even harder for everyone, right? It's like if you know you're gonna get caught, because like you know you're gonna get caught because everyone has a camera. You're like, it's not worth social media clout chasing, because they think like, no, the airlines is attacking me. You know, they're holding me because of my freedom of speech. You know, like no, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. They get it over with. Then put on your headphones and go back watching your video. You know, that's literally it. And
yep, exactly.
As someone who flies more, Liz, how do you feel when stories like this? We've talked a little bit, but like when it's like never ending. Like, how do you feel when it comes to these? Do you ever worry like, am I gonna be in one of those flights with someone like this?
I do worry about that because it seems like it's more frequent happen, and I think it's died down a little bit. But thanks to
has it really?
I don't know. Well, not as. I feel like at 2021 we had like every other story was like that kind of shit, right? So 2022 kind of had it too. I always do worry, and I feel like, you know, it really doesn't take much. You get on the plane, you sit down, get your ass tucked in, and you just patiently wait, and that's all you can do. It's just like if getting on a train or getting in a car with a lot of other people. It's no different. It's no fucking different. It's literally just taking the time and doing your due diligence. I fly so much and so frequently, and it bothers me. It bothers me. It really does bother me. Like, they should be able to get this taken care of and done. I always worry about it too. So, like, you know, it really is. I just want to get to my destination, relax, because it's usually I'm always flying somewhere away. So, yeah, good times. I hope I never encounter that situation. I'd be pissed. I mean, I've already been through when it was winter and they didn't de-ice the plane. That was a bummer, to be like so close to be leaving and to be like, oh, we have to turn around. The flight attendants have reached the max for the day. Fuck. So that's only been my only story hiccup in my lifetime, and hopefully it probably won't be the last, but you know, hopefully I don't have to encounter that kind of stuff. So.
Here's my other question. If it does happen, will you be pulling out your phone and recording it for some?
Fuck yeah. Especially if it's near me. I'm like, what the hell is this douchebag doing to my life? Come on, let's go.
I got a place to be.
Well, it usually never happens around me. Usually, hopefully, I don't draw that negativity and energy in my space ever. I'm like, it's all positive.
Fingers crossed, right?
I know, right?
All right, then. I think we've said our gripe, and until the next airline story comes about, you know, that's kind of really it. All right, so we've literally talked about giant fish catches, the plague returning, and really bad plane etiquette. Still, people aren't learning. It's disappointing. It's a shorter episode. It feels like it's still like a regular episode actually, but it feels a little shorter. But that's it. I hope you let us know if you want us to go back to this style of quote reporting, discussing. It's a difference, but it's still a conversation. It's, you know, it's enjoyable. We had our back and forth. We only had 3 stories this time, but you know, let us know if this is too little or not enough. You know, let us know down in the comments. And don't forget to, you know, like, follow, and subscribe.
Like, subscribe.
Exactly.
Follow.
If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to a podcast platform, don't forget to follow and leave a review. It really helps. And once again, you'll be seeing it in these few episodes. The GoFundMe for my cousin and their family.
The word of mouth is definitely valuable here.
Yeah, word of mouth, not only for the GoFundMe, but for the show as well. You know, it helps spread the information and some of the weird goofiness that's out there. But yeah, So, everyone, thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time.
Yo, going with KB, search to 11 with a block. This is the 95. Live like going, we going, we out going, we go.
Yo, we got bees in the street, Seaglers on the block, this is jail, TCP, live talking cover. Cool block, the command with the mic and a bulletproof vest, reporting live from a scene that's a hot mess.